Run it back, Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros.
All right, listen, man. Listen. Oh, I ran out of coffee this morning, so I had to get the old gas station coffee. You know what I mean? But listen, I was watching a couple of clips of that Allen Iverson documentary last night. I didn't get to watch the whole thing yet. Shout out to my boy AI. But one of the parts of the documentary is Larry Brown. I just realized there's donut cream filling on my lip in this video. So that, I mean, I'm just letting you know that's what it is. I know you're going to make some weird jokes in the comments, but that's what it is. For those that don't know, Sixers head coach during the Allen Iverson time. And Allen Iverson talking about their disagreements and things that they didn't get along with and stuff. And, Larry Brown was basically saying, I was hard on Allen Iverson because I didn't think he did all of the things that he needed to do to be the best version of himself. And Allen Iverson went on to, be a 4-time scoring champion and did all of these things at such a small size in terms of the NBA. And Larry Brown was still not satisfied because he saw the lack of work ethic in Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson lived completely on natural talent or natural physical ability, say what you want, in the NBA. My point is this. The team wasn't good in the 90s. They get the number 1 overall draft pick. They draft Allen Iverson. And they had a coach in Larry Brown who had the balls. To tell that number 1 pick, you're not doing what you need to do to be the best version of yourself. And he said it in a not so nice way lots of times. And they had not so nice arguments and disagreements. Then you go to this process era of the Sixers, right? And they tank and they hire Larry Brown. And they draft Joel Embiid. Goes through some injuries to getting healthy. They draft Ben Simmons. These players were not talked to in that way. These players were treated like royalty. These players were treated like absolute royalty from the time they walked in this building because the city hadn't had success since 2001. And these players being treated like royalty and not being held accountable is the main reason the process failed. These players not being held accountable from the day they stepped into the building is the main reason the process failed. And then you went to Doc Rivers, who I seems like he was more laid back than Brett Brown. Sat up there day one, told us he doesn't care if Ben Simmons shoots, argued with the media the whole year, on and on and on and on and on. Told James Harden to go to Vegas in the middle of a playoff series, whatever it was. So the Sixers get Nick Nurse. I think Nick Nurse will be the first coach in the Joel Embiid era that ain't having the bullshit. Now watch this clip.
My favorite parts of the championship run in 2019. I'm a rookie coach. I was hired to have success in the playoffs because the Raptors couldn't win in the playoffs. We get to the playoffs, game 1 at home against Orlando Magic, I think 7th seed. We lose. Kyle Lowry, one of our best players, the same, couldn't play in the playoffs. Great regular season, playoffs come. He had 0 points. 0 points, we're down 0-1 in my first playoff game as a rookie coach. Next day, I call Kyle into my office. I sit down and I say, well, guess what? You and I are both getting paid a lot of money to take all the shit we're going to have to take for the next 48 hours. And we're going to have to take it together, and we're going to have to figure it out. And I said, get ready for this film session I'm about ready to show, because I'm coming after you. And I'm coming after Kawhi, and I'm coming after Danny Green, and I'm coming after Marc Gasol, because you guys got to play better. And he said, okay. And game 2, we won by 38 points. We played defense like I've never seen a team play defense before in my life. And I told him after the game, we can go as far as we want to go now. You guys are here. You experience how good you can be, and we're ready to go.
That, my friends, is what this Sixers team has been missing. Somebody that was not afraid to sit up there and look at established players like Kyle Lowry and Kawhi Leonard and say, you guys stunk. You guys are the reason that game just happened the way it happened. Now sit down, watch this film. Let's look at every single part of what happened and what we did wrong, and let's understand together what you need to do. What you need to do to fix this. There's been players have come out and said Doc Rivers didn't have film sessions. You know? And then you get the end of after the Atlanta Hawks game 7, Ben Simmons coming out being like, well, I had 15 assists, so, well, I did deflecting, playing the blame game. Sounding like a little 12-year-old boy who didn't do his homework in middle school. Well, my dog ate it, so. Then you got Doc Rivers sitting up there, kind of throwing Ben under the bus, kind of taking shots at this and this and this. Never holding himself accountable. You can't expect somebody to hold other people accountable who never holds himself accountable. Doc Rivers never said once, I'm responsible for this. This is my job. I wasn't good enough. He would talk about the game as if he was a spectator in the crowd. I just didn't think they had the energy. I just didn't think this, we came out flat. We did. At what point is it the message that you're sending or not sending that is the reason the team is playing like this? Then you had Joel come out after the playoffs this year and say some bullshit like, we can't do it alone. Me and James can't do it alone. No, look in the fucking mirror. So I think finally the Philadelphia 76ers, since Larry Brown, have a coach with some balls who will look a star, diva, pampered player in the face and say, you weren't good enough, you're not in shape, you're not dedicated, you're not taking this seriously, and that's why we're here right now. And he probably won't be afraid to bench guys like Tobias Harris on a $180 million contract, finishing games with 2 points and 3 rebounds. I'm telling you right now, if Larry Brown was the coach, Ben Simmons would have been benched in a month when he first got here. Joel Embiid would have been told to his face, year 1, you're not in good shape. You were 245 in college. 245! You were out there moving around like a gazelle. You were moving around like a unicorn in a Harry Potter movie. And here you are at 280. Struggling to make it through the third quarter. I think they found that guy. I think that guy is Nick Nurse. I think Nick Nurse is going to get it done.